Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I want to welcome you to the new and improved Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast. After many years of interviewing the best and brightest thought leaders around the world on my SiriusXM show, I am excited to now have those interviews available to people around the globe on this podcast. So many people would write us and say, I love what I've been hearing about your interviews with these great people. Where can I access them? I live in this country or that country, or I don't have access to that technology. How can I get the information? Well, I'm so excited now that we are able to offer the information and the interviews free on this podcast. So we want you to sit back and enjoy this message and let me know how you like them. And then do me a favor. If you like them, send a review. Write a review and post it. And if you like it, hit like on here and share it. And tell everybody you know about it. And then subscribe to this podcast so you'll get the alerts when we post a new interview episode. Thank you for listening and enjoy the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast.
Named one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world.
Inducted into the Speaker Hall of Fame.
Award-winning singer.
Best-selling author.
And now, here's Willie Jolley.
Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I am so excited that you have taken time out of your schedule to listen to this broadcast, and I am over the top excited, grateful, and turned on by the fact that you have made this the number one motivational show on this network, one of the top podcasts in America and around the world now. And I want to thank you for doing something special, for sharing this with your friends, your family, your network, on your social media, in your lunch meetings, in your conversations around the water cooler. You have made this a popular program, and I can't thank you enough. Now, keep doing it. Keep sending it out. Do it right now. In fact, after this show, I want you to share it with, at least 5 of your network friends and say, you got to hear this one today, or you got to go and get it. I just am fired up about it because you're going to be fired up. Now, I start every show with a couple things. First, I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, can't refuse it. Didn't seek it, didn't choose it. But it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it. Give account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but our eternities are wrapped up in it. God's minute, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for every minute, and I take that poem with me everywhere I go because I want people to know how grateful I am for this moment, this minute, to be here in this minute, to be present in this minute, to be able in this minute. Second thing I take a moment to do at the beginning of every show is give God some glory, give God some praise, and thank Him for life and strength, for the blessings of life and strength, to be grateful. I've got an attitude of gratitude. Many of you saw my recent interview on my newsletter. If you're not on my newsletter, you're missing an opportunity to get some good stuff, by the way. Go to wjspeaks.com/gift. So you can get some free gifts, but you'll also be added to my newsletter if you choose, and it's wjspeaks.com/gift. But I talked about being hit in the eye with a tennis ball, and my eye was just traumatized. It was red. I couldn't see out of it clearly, but I'm so grateful that I can still see. It wasn't clear, but I could still see when I opened my eyes. It was hurting, and now it's, with the help of the ophthalmologist, I have been on medication and eye drops, and I can see clearly again. Still got to wear dark shades for a little while, but I'm grateful. And it reminded me of, as I said last week, Dr. Robert Schuller, when his daughter lost her leg, his first response was, thank God she's not dead. Woo! It's about how you frame and see the world. You see it from a negative perspective, you will have a negative perspective on life. But if you see it from a positive perspective, you start to win more. And so I'm grateful for that. My guest today, Oh, I've got one for the books today, folks. I have one for the books today. Let me tell you about my guest. And I'm so grateful he found time. He is actually on the road speaking. He said, I will make some time. I am grateful that he has found time. If you are a person maybe in your 40s or 50s, very good chance you heard him maybe in your 30s even, 30, 40, 50, somewhere in your school, in high school, as he went around the country speaking to high school students. He was and has been one of the what best known, greatest speakers in the education market for decades. Decades. And he's now also one of the most popular speakers in the corporate market. He's a top performer in the speaking industry and in the world of speakers. He's one of our icons. He is often remembered for his core message of humor, heartfelt impact, and the fact that he has changed the lives of so many millions of people have heard him over the years and been changed. He has an ability to connect with students, teachers, corporate execs, and association attendees. He has a life-changing message. It's funny, it's uplifting, and it's heart encouraging, it's captivating. He speaks all over the world. He is a Emmy Award-winning producer and writer of a TV special on ABC TV. He's a recipient of numerous awards. In 2003, he was inducted into the Speakers Hall of Fame, which is a big honor, and I'm honored to be in that same Hall of Fame. There, less than 5% of the speakers worldwide have been inducted in that, included are Ronald Reagan, Colin Powell, Zig Ziglar, Ken Blanchard, Les Brown. So it's the greats of the great. He's an Emmy Award-winning producer and writer, an Axiom Business Award for his book, Nice Bike, Ben Franklin Book Award for Nice Bike. He has also been the Golden Apple and Silver Screen Award for the film The Greatest Days of Your Life So Far. I watched that yesterday on YouTube. He was a young, good-looking, he's still good-looking, but he was young and had this full head of hair. He's a Telly, a Remy, a Aurora, an International Health and Medical Film Award winner. He is one of the greatest speakers and performers and personalities and people on the planet. My dear friend, Mark Scharenbroich. Mark, are you there?
Willie, I can't believe it. The best part of that introduction is my dear friend.
Oh, wow.
Because I admire you so much, Willie, so it's great to be with you.
Well, man, I am grateful for you. I left out a lot of stuff. I gave him the thumbnail. Who is Mark Scharenbroich? Where did he come from? Tell a little bit more about you and what you do and how you do what you do.
I think you added everything. I wish my mom was still alive to have heard that introduction. Although she heard it anyway, Willie. So,
amen.
Did you start out? You started out in the youth market.
I did.
Willie?
I did. That's why I knew of you. I knew I'd go to schools and hear of you. I'd hear this guy. Do you know Mark Scharenbroich? That was like my entry in a lot of schools. The story. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, we were both. There's one thing to talk to a youth audience like a church group or Future Farmers of America, but you and I were both working gyms.
Yep.
Meaning an all-school assembly, 2,000 students in a gymnasium. And they're not like a Fortune 500 company that's excited to hear a speaker.
No.
They want to see you fall apart. It's Daniel in the Lion's Den. But you and I are fortunate enough to be able to win them over quickly, give them a strong message, and keep them engaged throughout. So the first part of my career was as a high school assembly speaker. I spoke on over 3,500 schools throughout North America. The message being that the high school years may not be the best time for everybody there, but as long as you're here, make it count. Find out what your gifts are. Don't compare yourself to other people. Share versus compare. Share your talents. Find out what they are, and define who you are as a person. I think the high school years, from the time you come in as a freshman to the time you're a senior, you really start to define who you are, what your core values are, what you're kind of good at, and stop looking for acceptance from everybody else, but find your power, find your abilities, and share that with others. That's what my message was.
Wow. Wow. Well, you went on to do that for numerous years, winning the greatest awards in the youth market, education market. And then you've moved into the corporate market, and you've now become one of the top corporate speakers in America.
Well, I think the same thing happened to you, Willie, it happened to me, and that is the students that heard us in high school grew up and got jobs, and they're sitting at a round table saying, hey, we need to bring in a speaker for our conference. Anybody know anybody? And the people at the table went, you know what, I heard a guy back in high school. Let me Google him. And when Google came about,
that's right.
That's when they found you and I.
That's right.
At least for me, for sure, brought me forward to the corporate arena and association market, and so it was a natural transition.
Wow. Well, you have gone on, and that is a true story. I'm going to give this story before we take a break, and then when we come back, he's going to tell you how you can build your business, build yourself, and build your future, and some of the principles, because we all know that principles are bedrock, and they make a difference. But let me tell you this story. I was going to speak some years ago now. I got a contract with the Frederick County Public School System to come and speak every year. And even when I got into corporate America and started having success, I always reserved a week for that school system to be able to go back and do what I love to do, which was speaking to young people. I'd spoken for 5 years full-time and had spoken to, eons and countless thousands of young people, just like Mark had. Anyway, I go into this high school, Frederick County, and the principal, before the speech, he was telling me about some of the students and some of their concerns and their issues. Then he said, hey, let me ask you a question. You ever heard of a guy named Mark Scharenbroich? I said, have I? Absolutely. He's a friend of mine. He says, he's a friend of yours? I said, yeah. We're in the National Speakers Association, and he's a friend, da-da-da. And then this guy did something that blew my mind. He went in his wallet. He pulled out a laminated card with some teaching points. He said, I heard him when I was in high school. And he gave out these cards. You used to give some cards away, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
I did kind of affirmations of value as far as who you are as a person, the gifts you've been given.
And he had this card laminated, and he kept it in his wallet. He said, this is one of the greatest keepsakes I've ever had. Mm. And I watch it and look at it often. And the reason I'm a principal of this high school is because of the lessons and messages I learned from Mark Scharenbroich. Wow. Mm. Is that a great story, folks? And it's a true story. I didn't make that up. And so, folks, this guy is the real deal. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back. When we come back, I'm going to ask Mark to share the principles that he taught that principal as a student, maybe. Share the principles he shares with corporate groups. I wanted him to tell his story about Nice Bike. Lord, you got to hear this story. It's so good. And then we're going to also find out where you can connect with Mark and his beautiful bride, Susan. And they work together. They try. How long y'all been married, man?
42 years and counting.
42 years. He's in my club. I'm 35, my next anniversary. But we have got wives who have blessed us. We are way over married. We don't
way
do
over married.
Way over married.
Look at D. We both won the lottery, brother.
We won the lottery. So we're going to talk about how to have a successful marriage, how to have a successful life, and how to win. Y'all like my message? We talked about winning recently. You're going to learn how to win more with my friend, Mark Scharenbroich. And so for sure, stay tuned. For sure, your best come on back, because your best is yet to come. We'll be right back. Afraid of flying, I always get my dreams on the ground. Life had
Lord, since I met you, all that's changed in the blink of an eye. Now all my heart wants to do is fly. You put wings on my dreams and overcame my fear of heights.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I have a question for you. Have you ever wondered why some people can make $1 million, lose it, make a second million, lose that, then make a third million, while other people can't even make ends meet? Well, the reason is that those people know the recipe for success. And that recipe is available to everyone if you will do what they did. They made a habit of getting positive, motivational resources of great thinkers and great learners. And I want to offer those same kind of resources to you. We've developed a free page on my website. It's wjspeaks.com/gift. wjspeaks.com/gift. On that site, we've got resources, books, audios to help you to grow, and they're free. So go to wjspeaks.com/gift, wjspeaks.com/gift, and get some of those resources, and then share that page with your friends and your family members. We want to impact and inspire millions of people. And remember, if you enjoy this message on this podcast, like it, share it, and post a review about it, and make a difference in the lives of others by letting them know about it. Have a great day. This is Dr. Willie Jolley.
A to the D to the T to the I to the T to the U to the D to the E. A to the T to the T to the I to the T to the U to the D to the E. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude.
And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. I'm grateful for you, all of you who are listening. Thank you for making this a part of your weekly activity. I know you got a lot on your plate. I want to thank you also for all of you who've made the podcast a part of your life. I want to thank all of the people who have said, I make this podcast part of my weekly routine. I get my motivation, my self-development, my course in self-development weekly with the Willie Jolley podcast. So if you're not listening to it, you should know that it's available now on iHeartRadio, C-Suite Radio, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. So go get it. And you can hear some of the great ones. General Colin Powell, John Maxwell, Les Brown, Wally Famous Amos, Damon John, just one after another. Gladys Knight, just one after another. Brian Tracy. Just go and get the podcast. And this will be up soon too for those who don't either know how they can re-listen to it, or for those who want to share it. We want you to subscribe. Get subscribers to this network. We want lots and lots of more people, but we also want to make it available for those who might not be able to get it, or people in other countries who want to hear it. So my guest is Mark Scharenbroich, one of the greatest speakers on the planet. That's the truth. And when he speaks at the National Speakers Association, people are glued. When they hear he's going to speak, people come in and take their seats, get their seats early, because they know it's going to be special. Because he is one of those special speakers, just incredible giftedness, but also mastery. He has skills and abilities. He's humorous, he's funny, but his ability to connect. And so, Mark, before we go any further, some people might say, I got to know more about this guy. Where can I, get his materials? Where can I get his messaging? Where can they go to connect with you?
Oh, that's great, Willie. It's real simple. You can go to nicebike.com, nicebike.com. You can look for our bike, Nice Bike. book, Nice Bike, on Amazon. It's featured there. But, you know, let me tell you something, Willie. One of my best memories at National Speakers Association was the night you were inducted into the National Speakers Hall of Fame. As you mentioned earlier, 5% of the speakers in the world are in the National Speakers Hall of Fame. And my honor was being invited by you to sit at your table with Dee and your son William, and to be on that inner circle. That was a blow-away moment for me to have my friend walk up on that stage, you get the Hall of Fame, and to be at that table cheering you on. I'll never forget that.
Well, let's talk about why I invited you. Now, I must tell the truth. The reason I invited him to sit at my table because he was instrumental in getting me that award, that honor. He fought for me, and I had been nominated. In fact, if you're on my newsletter and you go to a recent newsletter, you'll see my message from this year's Hall of Fame inductee ceremony, where I talked about the fact that I was rejected 11 times. 11 times before
and it wasn't because of your talent.
Well, I know that it was rejection after rejection after rejection, and Mark Scharenbroich and Al Walker, two people, fought for me, went in that room and fought for me, and I'll never forget it, and I thank you for being my friend. So thank you for being my table. Now, let's talk. You talked about people can reach you at nicebike.com. How did that have anything to do with a Mark Scharenbroich? You got to tell the story. I'm setting you up. Go to work. Tell that nice bike story.
That's a great question. I mean, I always save time in August to go speak to teachers because I love that audience and the impact they have. So I flew from Minneapolis, go to Milwaukee, and I'm renting a car to drive north to Neenah, Wisconsin for a presentation to teachers. Well, I didn't realize it, but when I landed in Milwaukee, it was the 100-year anniversary for the Harley-Davidson motorcycle company. Willie, there are 500,000 hardcore black leather tattooed Harley riders. And I'm driving around town with this little beige Taurus from Avis, and I'm not a Harley guy. I have never even sat on one in my whole life. But that day, looking around those Harleys, I wanted to be part of that Harley group.
Yeah.
You know, it was just, and I'd pull over just out of curiosity, as you would, Willie, just to kind of see what's going on with all these different events. And you could see these people, you know, this big guy in all leather and the do-rag and everything, and standing by his bike, and somebody would walk by and go, "Oh, man, nice bike." And that big guy that owned it just would start smiling, and you saw this instant connection between the two, and this human dynamic. And the next day when I was talking to the teachers, the first day of school was coming up the following week, and I said to them, you know, when you're standing by your door on the first day of school and students are walking in, instead of just greeting them, if you put a little work beforehand, and as they walk in, you go, "Hey, Willie, it is so good to have you in my class this year. I'm just excited to have you here." That's nice bike. That's acknowledging somebody and honoring them and connecting with them right off the bat. So nice bikes become my metaphor of how we connect with others in an authentic, meaningful way to make a difference in this world.
Acknowledgement is how we connect with others. Nice bike. Man, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
You know, TSA tells us if you see something, say something. Well, that works on the positive side of life, too. If you see something good going on, like children at a table at a restaurant with their parents that are behaving properly, don't just walk by them. Tell those parents, "Mom and Dad, you've done a great job with your children. I'm just so honored to sit here in the same restaurant with them." When somebody puts in a good effort, be it law enforcement, within the military, be it people in a company, if you see something, say something. Acknowledge their efforts and what they're doing.
Wow. You know what? That's so powerful because most times, and I even wrote about it in my Attitude of Excellence book, most times people will tell you all the bad things you're doing. They're happy and quick to criticize, but to celebrate, to appreciate, to commemorate, to say great job is so rare. And if we can get people to say, "Hey, great job today," Great job. Nice bike. I mean, it really does make a difference. I tell a story about one of my assistants who some years ago, she's retired now, but she helped me when I was running late. She called the airline to see if they wait for me. And Mark, she didn't know I had to deal with the airline that if I'm not there when they're ready to go, they can go without me. But anyway, but they told her the flight was an hour delayed. She called me in the car and said, slow down. Take your time. I want you to be safe. And I called her and I said, thank you. And then I called her back and she said, thank you. I just want to thank you for that. You are awesome. I think you're one of the greatest people in the world I ever seen. I'm so glad you're working with me. And I went on to my speech and went to the next city and next city and next city. When I got back, there was a bouquet of roses on my desk. And I thought it was from one of my clients. And I went to look and it was from her. And so I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. What's this about? I go into her office. I say, what's that about? She said, I worked for my last job for 22 years. And no one ever said thank you. No one ever said thank you. And you called me back to say thank you and how much you appreciate it and how awesome I was. No one's ever told me that in a work experience. And I realized that people do a lot more for a word of encouragement, a word of acknowledgement, than they will for a raise over time. When they get a raise, they'll like it, they'll appreciate it, but they'll spend that up quickly. They'll feel it only for a short while before they're starting to live that next lifestyle. But when you acknowledge them, you change their lives forever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from Minnesota, and we have more Fortune 500 companies per capita than any other state in the nation.
Wow.
And I read a survey that went out to employees asking them a simple question. What would make you happy at work? 35% of the people said, money. Show me the money, I'll show you the happy. But 65% said acknowledgement from my boss, my supervisor, my coworkers, that who I am and what I do makes a difference. I'd be happy at work. So money, as you just said, it's not always the big incentive. I mean, you need to pay people what they're worth. No question about it. You need to share that wealth. However, share the wealth as far as making them feel valued, letting people know they make a difference, and help them grow across the board.
Wow. Folks, if you want to know how to grow your business, grow your people, acknowledge them. Grow your children. Many people have children who never heard, I love you, I appreciate you, I think you're awesome. Acknowledge them. It sounds so simple that they should know, okay? Your mate, your spouse, your partner, say, hey, you're awesome. I'm so grateful for you. I'm grateful. I tell Dee all the time, I'm grateful. And I tell people if they around, outside of earshot, don't tell her that I'm not worthy. She hadn't figured it out yet. I don't want her to know I'm not her. So I acknowledge her all the time. And so this is great stuff. Nice. By the way, there's a book. There's a book on this whole topic. Tell them where they can buy the book, Mark.
The book is called Nice Bike, Making Meaningful Connections on the Road of Life. And you can find it on our website, which is nicebike.com, or just go to Amazon. It's always there. But, there's such power. The last story in my book, in fact, if people go to our website, nicebike.com, you can watch a preview video, just like you have, Willie. And the last story in the video is a story of my father. I took my dad to Vietnam. He's a World War II veteran, served in the Navy, and he was in service. But I took him to Washington, D.C., and we were walking along the Vietnam Wall. And my dad, kind of out of character, saw two Vietnam vets standing there very quietly. And he went over and said, were you fellas over there? The guy said, yes, sir, we were. My dad said, hey, thank you and welcome home. And I'll never forget that Vietnam vet looking at my father with tears coming in his eyes saying, sir, you are the very first person who has ever said thank you to me for serving the country I love.
Wow.
And boy, that just hit me as far as how powerful. Number one, for my father to be present. How many times in life we get so busy with ourselves, we walk by everybody else, and people were walking by these two Vietnam vets a long time ago, and my dad was, present at that moment. He acknowledged them. He honored them with a simple statement of gratitude, and he connected with them by really making it personal.
Wow.
So
that makes a big difference.
It was a strong moment for me, and so it's
hold that thought. Hold that thought. We want to come right back to there. We're going to be right back. We got to take a break for station identification. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. We'll be right back. Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I got an email from a gentleman in Australia who shared how he had been struggling in his business, and he bought some of my books and audios, and how it had a profound impact on his business, and he went from worst to first in his company. I shared with him how much I appreciated his note, but I told him those books, those audios, those videos were not just something that I just thought up one day and started to write. They were born out of my experiences, out of the challenges of overcoming the problems and the difficulties and how I was able to do it. And I shared with him that others have sent similar messages and that these resources work. I want to encourage you and invite you to go to my store. Go to wjspeaks.com/shop. wjspeaks.com/shop. Get some of the books. It only takes a minute to change your life. Or a setback is a setup for a comeback. Or turn setbacks into greenbacks. Or chicken soup for the soul. Or an attitude of excellence. Or the book I wrote with my wife after 34 years of being married and not having an argument in over 30 years. We wrote a book called Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. And now it is saving marriages all over the globe. Go to the store. Get some of the audios, the videos, the books, the resources to help you have greater personal and professional success. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Make this a great day on purpose. And we do have more. This is Dr. Willie Jolley with Mark Scharenbroich. You were telling a powerful story about your father and that connection. And the guy, the Vietnam vet at the Vietnam War Memorial had a tear in his eye. Wow. I know that meant something big and major to you, man.
It was a major moment. I mean, sometimes we don't see the hero in our own parents, and it's like a lot of that greatest generation. They're very quiet. They never took much credit for what they contributed. So it was a real field of dreams moment with my dad and I. But we get so busy, Willie, and I mean, I watch people. I think that as much as a smartphone connects us, they divide us too.
Yeah.
You've seen this happen. I'll walk into a restaurant when I'm on the road. I saw in the north, I was in Minnesota, and I saw a family of 5 at a round table together, and they all had their heads bowed. I thought, well, wow, I see that a lot in the South, that people take it a moment to pray before a meal, but not up here that much. And I thought, that's very nice. And as I got closer, I realized, oh, my gosh, they're all bowing their heads, looking at their cell phones instead of each other. Reading what... I thought, well, my gosh, when you buy a raffle ticket, oftentimes it says on the raffle ticket, you must be present to win. Well, I think that is so true. When use your cell phone, your mobile phone, use your smartphone as a device to help you, not as something to separate it. And I think that you must be present to win. One of the things I love about you, Willie, is anytime I run into you, you make me feel like I'm the most important person in the world, because you're always so present with people whenever you're with them, and you give a lot more energy than you take. You always fill a room with energy, and that's why this show is so powerful. Well,
God bless you.
You want to connect with people that mean something to you in your life, people that are on your team. I mean, put that up on the wall. You must be present to win. The person you're talking to is the most important person in the world. You taught that to me, and I think that's very important.
Well, I remember, and I'm going to tell you a quick story. Then I want to ask you a question, and I want to let you ponder for a second. If you were in a room with college students, and you could tell them, business students or entrepreneurial students, what are the you guidance for success? As I tell you this story, you can ponder that for a moment. But when I was starting my speaking career, I had a book. My first book was out called It Only Takes a Minute, Change Your Life. And I had been invited to speak in Dallas at the Lowe's Anatole Hotel. And I went to the gym, and the gym was near like a stage door to the ballroom. It was just outside. And I'd finished working out, walking out of the gym, and the stage door back door opened up, and in the door were these big, big men, looked like football players, and in the middle was a little woman, Mary Kay Ash. I could not believe that. I had seen her on television. I had written about her in that book. And I said, Mary Kay Ash, wow. And I couldn't, keep from saying it. Wow, Mary Kay Ash. And they were, her bodyguards and whatever. And she stopped. She said, I want to meet him. And she looked me dead in the eye. Like I was the only one present. There were people coming up, trying to get, but she spoke to me like I was really somebody. I was just a guy in some gym clothes. And I told her who I was and how I had written about it in my book. And I said, I'll send her a book. And she said, thank you. I appreciate you. And, I learned how important that moment was for me, that maybe that if you take a moment with people and you look them in the eye and you tell them how much you appreciate it and how honored you are to meet them, it can make a world of difference in their lives. So you do that as well, man. You make everybody feel important. Before we go any further, I want to also take a moment to acknowledge and speak about the fact that Mark Scharenbroich and my friend Eric Chester do an annual boot camp, or it's called the Keynote Camp, and they teach speakers, and I mean well-known speakers, how to create world-class keynote messages. And I have heard nothing but rave reviews. I, in fact, sent a lady there who had come to our speaker boot camp. I don't teach them how to speak at my speaker boot camp. I teach them how to make money and how to grow a business. And we do our speaker boot camp once a year, and typically in November. But you do this keynote camp where you teach people how to get a speech that people throw money at you for because they want it so bad. When can people reach out to you? How do they contact if they want to, maybe come to your speaker keynote camp? How do they do it? What's the deal?
Oh, we love teaching. It's Eric Chester, a fellow Hall of Famer, as you are, Willie. It's my wife Susan, who's the best speech coach that I know in the world, and myself. It's a 3-day event. It's in Denver, first weekend of December every year. We only bring in 20 people, and this year we've got professional speakers. We also have a couple of CEOs that speak a lot for their companies, and they want to be able to come in and learn how to connect with an audience. It's all about platform skills, how you connect with an audience, the opening, the middle, how to get better at what you're doing. So it's Keynote Camp, but Keynote is spelled with a K, as Camp is spelled with a K, K-A-M-P. So KeynoteCamp.com, and they can get all the information they need.
I highly recommend CEOs, people who are struggling with their communication, who are afraid to get in front and give their message. This will help you if you can get a seat. They only got 20 seats, and let me tell you, they are packed every year. And I've had so many of the great speakers say their business grew exponentially after attending this keynote camp with Mark Scharenbroich, his beautiful bride, and my friend Eric Chester. Okay, so now that I've given you time, you sitting there in a room, you come in as a guest speaker, there's a class of young people who want to be business people, who want to be entrepreneurs. What are you gotters? Here's the thing, you gotta do this. You gotta do this.
I gotta give you two, really.
All right, give me as many as you want. Okay.
I'm gonna give you two strong ones that I think that have to be. Number one, in elementary school, I went to a little Catholic grade school, and first day of school, it was time to color. Teacher told us after lunch we're all going to color. Well, I come from a big family, and I was a younger kid, and I always had junk to our crayons, the broken up ones, the ones that were in the cigar box, that had been used by everybody.
Right.
In first grade, my mom sent me to school with a box of 5 never-been-used primary colors, and that's the first time I'd ever had crayons that weren't junk drawer crayons, and I was so excited. And the sister told us to pull out your crayons, and I put that box of 5 up on my desk, so proud. And I glanced over to my right, and there's this cute little girl, and she had that Crayola of 64 colors, 3 decks going upwards, electric sharpener, and the whole thing. And
yep, I remember.
She glanced over me and she says, I have 17 different shades of orange. And I'm looking going, I don't even have orange. And what happens to a lot of people at that point in their life is they suddenly start counting. They suddenly start to realize that I have less than they do. Maybe they have more than I do. Maybe they deserve more. I deserve less. Maybe they're luckier than I am, or life just isn't fair. And what happens is it moves from crayons to how people look, how much money they have, the job title they have, and maybe it's how big that yacht is. Well, I can tell you what, no matter how big your yacht is, somebody's going to have a bigger one. And if all you go through life is counting your value on your bank account, your title, the kind of car you drive, all those things are wonderful. You bet. You go out there and earn them. But to me, the lesson of life is stop counting crayons. Just draw pictures. Would be my first piece of advice. That take what you have, share those talents, make a difference. Because if all you do is compare, saying maybe I'm better than that, but I'm not as good as that, I don't think you'll ever be good enough. And you've got to start out taking the gifts you've been blessed with and make a difference with them. That'd be my first piece of advice.
Wow, that's that's awesome. That is an awesome lesson. And folks, you see, I want to make sure I take a moment here. Notice how Mark told a story before he gave the lesson. The great ones understand the power of the story, the power of the illustration before you get the lesson, because the lesson was so clear after you said it that stop counting the crayons and just draw your own picture, your best picture with what you got, the gifts you got. That's what the great ones do. They never tell a story without a point, and they never give a point without a story. That's why he's one of the great ones. Go ahead, my man.
Didn't know that. That's a great point.
Well, you do it. You look. I had to learn that you do it innately. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, and the second point that I would want to share with some young people coming up that are starting out, or any point in your career, I remember years ago I was watching the television program 60 Minutes.
Yes.
And Barbara Jordan was being interviewed. The first black woman from the great state of Texas, elected to Congress before blacks or women were elected to Congress in Texas. And you point that out because when you're first, you've earned it, right?
Right.
And her quote changed my life. Her quote altered my path. And it's so simple. It was Barbara Jordan who said, "It's more important to be interested than interesting." Everybody tries to find value by telling about themselves and what they have or what they do or where they've traveled. Or somebody says, "Yeah, I just took a trip down to St. Thomas," and they go, "Oh yeah, I go there. We have a place there." I mean, they just if you want to make an impact on people, my advice is be curious about other people. I know this has happened to you, Willie. It's happened to me a bunch of times. If I'm at a reception or a cocktail party or a wedding where there's a bunch of people to meet, I'm curious about people, and you're curious, and we ask questions.
Yep.
Well, I tell you what, 9 out of 10 people will answer every question I ask. And 1 out of 10 will say, "Hey, tell me something about you." I met Mr. Haslam. Mr. Haslam was the man that started PFJ Travel Centers. It's their revenues are $20 billion a year. Mr. Haslam himself is worth $2 billion.
Wow.
And I was speaking to PFJ, a great client, and he's in the front row. He's 85 years old, worth $2 billion. He's in the front row at the meeting for his company. Which, boy, if I had $2 billion and I was 85, I might be somewhere else.
Right.
Well, he was right there, and I met him. I was so honored to meet him. And the first thing he said was, "Mr. Mark, tell me something about yourself." It was him taking an interest. So my second piece of advice is take the advice from of being more interested in people. Be the 1 out of 10 that asks questions, not the 9 out of 10 that just answer them all.
Wow. See, folks, again, he blew me away. Started with a great quote from a great woman, and then he taught me a lesson. And now I'm not going to get really religious on y'all or nothing, but y'all know there's a carpenter from Galilee who taught parables. And those parables changed people's lives because they were great lessons taught through a story. Well, look, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. We got more with my friend Mark Scharenbroich. This is Dr. Willie Jolley and the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. For sure, your best is yet to come.
Friendship is not about being convenient. It's about being committed and consistent. You can call on me when you need me. Call me. You can call on me. Call me. You can call on me. Pick up the phone. You can call and call me.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and people often ask, how did I go from a broke, busted nightclub singer to become a best-selling author and to be voted one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world by the 175,000 members of Toastmasters International? The answer is that I decided to invest and change my thinking, invest in my mindset, and decided to change my inputs because inputs determine outputs. I heard about a seminar years ago when I was just getting started. I was making about $100 a speech. And I heard this seminar that was creating millionaires, and it cost $10,000, but the guy was getting results. I didn't have that kind of money, but I decided to borrow it because I learned that there's a price for success, the price of college, the price of going to school, the price of education. And there's a price for success, and then there's a cost for not paying the price, the cost of staying the same. And that cost is greater than the price. It's too expensive. And so I went, and it changed my life. And I came back and quickly made $100,000. I heard a similar story from Dr. Dave Martin, how he went to a success rally, heard a speaker who inspired him. He and his friends said, wow, that's changed my life. The speaker had a package of materials to help build wealth. The package cost $1,500. And that was all the money Dr. Dave had to his name. Dr. Dave's friend asked, do you think this stuff is worth it? Dr. Dave thought for a moment. He said, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. But I do know that I'm worth it. I'm worth it. He invested that money in that package and used the materials to grow his thinking. He grew his mindset. He shared how that $1,500 investment has gone on to generate millions in revenues. He's a multimillionaire. And he has homes now in Arizona and Florida. I want to say to you, it's time to invest in you. I want to give you some materials that will help you, grow your mindset, grow your future, grow your finances. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire. wjspeaks.com/billionaire to get some materials that will inspire your success and will help you find that there's a price for success, but there's a cost for not paying the price. And the cost is always greater than the price. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire and get the bag, the box, or any of the materials there and keep growing your wealth. And remember, as a man thinketh, so as he is, and your best is yet to come.
Gonna take it to the top. Motivated, highly motivated. Motivated, I'm never gonna stop. I had a job I really hated. It made me sick, but it got me motivated. I knew that this was not where I was meant to be. I didn't want to stay, but I was too afraid to leave. Then one day I got my check. There was almost nothing there. I went to the boss. He laughed and said he didn't care. My kids were at home hungry. I was about to lose my home. That's when I decided I had to make it on my own. Said,
And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley and the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show with my special guest, Mark Scharenbroich, Hall of Fame speaker, certified speaking professional, Emmy Award-winning writer, best-selling author, and just a tremendous husband, 42 years with the beautiful Susan, and father of 3. And
That's right.
And
That's
you
right.
got grandkids yet?
Yeah, we got 3 grandkids, those are blessings, you know.
Yeah. So
Hanging long enough.
I know one of your daughters is an entrepreneur, and she has a restaurant in Minnesota. Minnesota. You see, I've been to Minnesota. Minnesota.
Yeah, you have. I got that.
Oofta. I've been there. I got that. Okay. And so, tell us about her. And I know she learned some of these entrepreneurial principles of running a great business from her father. Well, tell me about her and what she's doing.
We're so excited about our daughter, Kate. I mean, one of the greatest gifts, I know you've seen this with William, is when you see your own children bud out and find their own path. And Kate learned how to be a executive chef, but she was cooking for billionaires. That's with a B. They have
billionaires for a B, billionaires. Yeah.
They have private chefs. Did you know that, Willie? So she was saying, she was at dinner parties with Robert Redford, Katie Couric, Tesla,
Musk, Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. Cooking for Elon Musk, and so she learned a lot from them. And she came home from all these adventures and said, "Dad, I want to open up a restaurant, Mom and Dad." So we're investors. If you're a parent, and as your children get older, you're always an investor.
Absolutely.
It's a healthy, gluten-free, all organic, great concept. And I found out that I have a talent for washing dishes. Really. But the lesson I'd apply to your listeners are, one thing, I've been in the front of house for restaurants, sitting at the table being served for years.
Yeah.
Well, this is the first time I ever had to go in the back of the house, the heart of the house.
Yep.
Where everything's cooked and cleaned, and I love.
Where everything's what? Yeah, I lost you there.
Washing dishes.
Where everything's prepped and clean, you say?
Oh yeah, I love it. But as a business owner, anybody else, boy, take the job that everybody else does, and give that a shot. I was on a flight once from Atlanta to Minneapolis, and Richard Anderson, who was the CEO at the time of Delta, got on the plane, and I'm a frequent flyer as you are, and so we're fortunate enough to get upgraded to first class every now and then because we travel a lot.
Right.
Well, Richard Anderson got on, recognized him right away because he did the announcements, the safety announcements to welcome me on the Delta flight on the video. It's Richard Anderson. Well, he kept walking right past first class, right into coach in a center seat.
Wow.
The CEO of Delta goes past first class and sits in a center seat in coach. So Richard Anderson sits in coach, and I asked the flight attendant, does he do that very much? Have you seen that before? He said, all the time. As a matter of fact, he'll work the reservation line. He'll work as a flight attendant. He'll work doing the baggage because he wants to get a feel for what everybody does in the Delta team.
Wow.
In order to support them. So I wanted to jump in the restaurant with our daughter. And if you ever get to Minneapolis, go to Brim Restaurant, B-R-I-M Restaurant.
B-R-I-M Restaurant in Minnesota. We want you to go support it. We want y'all to go get some vegan food. When my wife and I come, we're going because my wife's vegan. And so that's
we'll take care of her.
Oh, man, I
We
can't.
love it.
Oh, we're going to wait to do it. Well, in the last few minutes we got, tell some of the principles you tell these corporate execs about, all these corporate audiences, these trade associate audiences, about being more connected, being more present, and being more successful. Some of the things that they need to know.
It's not complicated, Willie. If you can master the basics here's the deal. Every follower wants 4 things from their leader. They want to answer 4 questions. The questions are, where are we going? How are we going to get there? You got my back on this one? Are you going to take care of me here? If I go out there and do this, you got me covered? And number 4, do you care about me? Do you care about me as a person? Where are we going to go? How are we going to get there? You got my back on this one? And do you care about me as a person? And if the leader can answer those 4 questions for their team, I think that's the first thing. Second thing is, every great company, every great service that is amazing, I think, number 1, they've got a great leader that's out there, that understands, that has a vision, that helps people grow. Number 2, core values. I'll never forget, Willie, I was speaking out in Las Vegas, and the sound tech, most people hear 5-6 speakers a year. They hear 5-6 speakers a day. And I was working with a sound tech. This guy was incredible. I mean, he personally mic'd Frank Sinatra's last show in Las Vegas, 4 different presidents. I mean, he was the guy named Vinny from Jersey. What are the odds? Vinny from Jersey.
Vinny from Jersey.
Yeah, and the guy, Vinny said to me, we're talking, he said, hey, I'm just curious, what are your core values? Well, he caught me off guard. I was kind of stumbling, thinking, well, it'd be nice to leave the campsite better. And all of a sudden, he opened up his shirt, took his shirt sleeve, rolled it up, and on his arm he had 3 words tattooed. Respect, honor, loyalty. Then he said, these are my 3 core values. Whenever I have a difficult decision, I glance here, and the decision becomes easy. Not that you have to tattoo your core values on your arm, but I think to know them when you're asked them is where you've got to start. That if you sat down with a table of friends and you said, okay, everybody, table topic right now, what are your core values? I wonder how many people at that table could say, tell you what, I know you could, Willie, I know you could, but I wonder how many people at that table could say, look, tell you what, these are my core values, this is what I believe in, this is my rudder, this is what guides me every single day. So I think for your listeners to sit down when this broadcast is over and pull out a piece of paper and a pencil and say, okay, what are my core values? How do I answer that question? Because when your core values are clear and you end up doing the right thing because it's right, and you're out there to serve people and make a difference with the gifts you've been blessed with.
Wow. Wow. Folks, now you see why he's one of the greatest communicators on the planet Earth. His name is Mark Scharenbroich, MarkScherenbroich. But you don't have to remember Scharenbroich. All you got to remember is nicebike.com.
That's it, nicebike.com and FOW. Friend of Willie.
Well, I want to thank you again, folks. I want to encourage you to go to nicebike.com. Go to get the book. Get the book, Nice Bike. Get some copies for all of your people. They will be blessed by it. All your team needs to have that book in their library. Many of you are buying my book, An Attitude of Excellence for All Your People. Get that book as well so that they can get a library going. They can get a momentum going. Attitude of Excellence and nicebike.com will work together. Next thing I want you to do, many of you come to my speaker boot camp intensive in November every year. I want you then, if you're serious, really serious about becoming really good in the presentation part, you want to go to keynotecamp.com. Keynote, K-E-Y-N-O-T-E, I'm sorry, K-E-Y-N-O-T-E, K-A-M-P, camp with a K.com, and see if you can get a spot on their program. And last but not least, if you want to transform your audience, whether it's a school system, a corporation, a trade association, or some community group who just needs to have their people uplifted, you reach out to Mark Scharenbroich. See if you can get
hire Willie Jolley first. If he's not available, then call Mark Scharenbroich.
Well, y'all can tell we got a love thing going. We got a bromance. This guy is my guy, and I love him and his beautiful bride, and he has been my champion when I needed him, and he's been in my corner, and I can't thank him enough, and I want to thank him for being on today. Thank you, Mark.
Love you, Willie. You're the best.
Man, thank you. Love you. Well, folks, go and get those resources from Mark Scharenbroich. Go to wjspeaks.com/gift. wjspeaks.com/gift to be part of our newsletter to get some free goodies. Go to jollygoodnews.org, jollygoodnews.org, our nonprofit that is part of what keeps this show going. jollygoodnews.org, where we help people with trying to bless people in prisons, trying to bless young people in schools. Be a part of that. jollygoodnews.org. Go read about it. And then go to jollymarriage.com when Get the marriage resources to help you keep your marriage together and strong. We've been married for going on 35 years, haven't had an argument in over 32 years, and we learned some principles from some wise mentors that changed our marriage, and we put them in a book. Go there and get those resources. You can get it all in a digital download. And last but not least, go to anattitudeofexcellence.com and get some copies of the book to empower and inspire your people. This is Dr. Willie Jolley, for sure. All over the world, I want you to know for sure. All over this globe, for sure. This universe, for sure. Your best is yet to come. God bless you. Have a great week on purpose. God bless you.
Are you tired of crying and complaining? Tired of feeling like life don't treat you fair? Do you see so many others moving on while you're steady going nowhere? Have you maybe come to the conclusion that there's nothing at all that you can do? Well, just look in any mirror and you'll see who is really truly stopping you. My mind. It's up to every one of us to take charge of our life and to make it what we want. If you think
Well, I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode, and I hope you got something of great value. And I hope that you were inspired, you were motivated, you were empowered, and you were encouraged to live your best life. I hope this information and this inspiration will help you to do more, be more, and to achieve more. That's the goal why I started this program, and I hope it helped you in a mighty way. Now, I ask you to make sure and that you take full advantage of all the resources that came through this program. I hope you go to wjspeaks.com/gift and get some of the free resources that we have there for you. I hope you go to wjspeaks.com/shop to get some of the books that we have created, that we've labored over to make sure that they will deliver a powerful message to you. I hope you go to williejolly.com/billionaire, williejolly.com/billionaire, or wjspeaks.com/billionaire to get the box that it will inspire your whole family, or get the bag of books. Make this a great day, a great week, a great month. And remember, it is true that you are blessed and all things are possible for them that believe. So make the most of the belief that you have now in your future. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Have a great day.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.